On this rack, notice that break. I stopped that cue ball right out there in the center of the table. That's a great place to be. I'm a little bit past the side pocket, closer to the head end of the table. That kind of keeps you away from any bit of the residue of the rack that would normally be in that 2-ball area. This rack, I kind of like the solids are nice and wide open and they finish over by the 8-ball. So it should lead to an easy finish to the rack. So I just hit the 6 on the side, hit the 1, hit the 3. So on this 1 ball, I hit that in, and then on the 3, I'd like to kind of just drift towards the 4. I think I ended up a little bit too straight, so I ended up doing a draw off the end rail to get myself a little bit closer to the 4. Didn't get me real close, but it's enough. Here at the end, I think I mess up this rack a little bit. I probably should just hit the 4, pop off the rail, hit the 5, pop off the rail, hit the 2 in the same pocket, and then hit the 8 in the same pocket. But I end up going over on this first shot, and I get tempted to shoot the 2 now, which kind of leads to a little bit harder at the end of the rack. If I had done the 5, I'd just pop right off the rail back over where I'm at again and hit the 2. Instead, I end up using some inside English, go over by the 5, and I go a little bit too far, so now I'm bumping into the 8. And when I bump the 8, I just want to make sure I don't hit it too hard because I don't want the 8 bouncing up table and getting behind that 13 ball. So I end up leaving myself a tough cut for this 8 ball. But I had been practicing for my 36 ball break and run challenge. So I was hitting the balls pretty good and confident in my ability to cut and just the way I'm hitting them. The second rack actually ends up being quite a bit tougher. Right at the beginning, I end up right up married to that ball, so it takes away a lot of choices on what I can shoot. So my first shot, I end up shooting this 9 ball, and in the process, I've got that 8 ball kind of over behind, looks like the 3 ball. So I'm going to go ahead and come off the rail, go down table, and try to bump that 8, open it up a little bit. I don't need to hit it real hard, but I just nudge it down to it's next to the 3. That 8 ball will be pretty easy. So my next problem is the 10 ball, and I'm going to go ahead and try to bust that out right now. But I end up hitting that 5 ball in such a way that it didn't move, so I'm still working on this. So now I'm going to take those 2 balls down. Basically, I'm shooting that 14 ball, and I got the other one as a bonus. I actually would have preferred that it set up because that would make the next shot a little easier. But now I'll just use this 13 ball, and I'm once again trying to nudge that 10 out. Didn't quite get it enough. So now I'm getting into heroics territory where I've got to hit it at the end. In order to make this a lot more sure thing, I'm going rail first with follow to bump into that 10. Now that I got the 10 out, all I'm going to do is hit this hard enough. I know that cue ball is going to drift somewhere, so I want to draw to the side rail and then hit it hard enough that it bounces out in the table and gets totally clear of those 2 balls in the middle because I don't want to end up behind them. So I go clear across the table. Anything else to hit that 10 ball in would have possibly landed me in trouble territory. And then I can just cut the 8 in from down there.